Beloved child of God, there is a gentle yet urgent voice from heaven today saying, do not show off. In a world driven by display, where people crave recognition and applause, the Spirit of the Lord is calling His children back to the heart of humility. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. God is not impressed by what you show others. He is moved by what He sees within. You may have achieved great things, victories, blessings, breakthroughs that make others take notice. But God is reminding you, every good thing you have came from Him. Your success is not meant for self-glory. It's meant to reflect His glory. Deuteronomy 8:18 declares, Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you power to get wealth. When you boast in yourself, you shift the focus from the giver to the gift. When you remain humble, heaven entrusts you with more. Beloved, pride is silent poison. It creeps in when we begin to think we are the source of our own success. But humility is strength under control. It is choosing to stay grounded even when you rise. James 4:6 reminds us, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. The proud chase the spotlight, but the humble walk in divine favor that never fades. Jesus Himself taught us in Matthew 6:1-4 not to do good deeds for attention, for when we seek the praise of men, we lose the reward of heaven. God sees what is done in secret. He honors what is done quietly. The most powerful people in His kingdom are those who don't need to be seen, only to be faithful. So, beloved, walk with humility. Let your light shine, but never for your glory, only for His. In every victory, whisper, To God be the glory. For the higher God lifts you, the lower your heart must bow. Chapter 1. The Danger of Pride. Beloved child of God, pride is one of the most subtle and dangerous traps of the enemy. It begins quietly, often disguised as confidence, but its roots reach deep into the heart, separating us from the presence of God. Pride whispers, I did this, while humility declares, God did this through me. The moment we start believing we are the source of our own success, we step onto dangerous ground. The Word of God is clear. Proverbs 16:18 warns, Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride is not just arrogance, it is the elevation of self above submission. It makes us forget who the true source of our blessings is. When pride takes over, gratitude disappears, obedience weakens, and spiritual sight grows dim. The devil himself fell from heaven because of pride, desiring the glory that belonged only to God. Beloved, understand this. Pride blocks blessings. When a heart is full of self, there is no room for God to pour in more. But when a heart is humble, God can fill it with wisdom, favor, and abundance. James 4:10 tells us, Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up. It is not your strength, your talent, or your connections that elevate you. It is the hand of God, and that same hand can withhold favor when pride takes root. Think of King Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel 4:30-37. He looked at his kingdom and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built? But God humbled him until he recognized that heaven rules over all. When he lifted his eyes back to heaven in repentance, his sanity and kingdom were restored. Pride brings humiliation, but humility brings restoration. Beloved, pride not only separates us from God, it blinds us to His purpose. It makes us crave human applause instead of divine approval. It causes us to compare, to compete, and to perform, forgetting that the only audience that truly matters is God Himself. Guard your heart. Give glory where it belongs. Every talent, every opportunity, every breath is a gift. Say daily, Lord, without you, I am nothing. Let humility be your robe, gratitude your song, and obedience your lifestyle. When you walk low before God, He will lift you high before men, but it will be His glory shining through you, not your own. So, beloved, beware of pride. It is the silent thief of destiny. Stay low before the throne, and God will keep lifting you higher. Chapter 2. The Power of Hidden Faithfulness. Beloved child of God, heaven sees what man overlooks. In a world that measures worth by visibility and applause, God values what is done in secret. The quiet acts of obedience, the unseen sacrifices, the whispered prayers. These are the treasures that move His heart. Matthew 6:4 says, "Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you openly." Faithfulness in the hidden place is what qualifies you for favor in the open. Many want the platform, but few want the process. Many crave recognition, but God is seeking those who will serve faithfully, even when no one is watching. Beloved, the hidden place is holy ground. It is there that God shapes your heart, purifies your motives, and prepares you for greater responsibility. Before David ever faced Goliath, he was faithful in the fields, tending sheep where no one saw, but God was watching. Luke 16:10 declares, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Hidden seasons are divine tests. They reveal whether you seek the reward of men or the approval of heaven. When you serve quietly, when you give without seeking credit, when you obey without applause, you build eternal credibility with God. The world may forget your name, but heaven records your faithfulness. Beloved, do not despise the days of obscurity. Do not rush the process or try to promote yourself. The same God who hid Moses in the desert, Joseph in prison, and Esther in the palace is hiding you for a reason. He hides what He values until it is ready to be revealed. The hidden place is not punishment, it is preparation. Colossians 3:23-24 reminds us, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." When you do your work for God, not for men, your reward cannot be denied. So, beloved, stay faithful in the shadows. Keep praying, keep serving, keep giving, even if no one notices. Heaven is taking notes. The applause of men fades, but the reward of God is eternal. In His perfect timing, He will lift you up, not to show you off, but to show Himself strong through you. Your hidden faithfulness is your greatest power. Keep it pure, keep it humble, and watch how God turns your quiet obedience into undeniable glory. Chapter 3. Humility that unlocks promotion. Beloved child of God, humility is the key that unlocks divine promotion. The world teaches self-promotion, how to be seen, how to rise, how to get ahead. But heaven operates differently. God lifts those who bow low before Him. 1 Peter 5:6 declares, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time." True elevation doesn't come from effort, connection, or competition. It comes from submission. When you walk in humility, you create space for God's power to flow. Pride pushes God away, but humility invites Him in. The humble heart says, "Lord, without you, I can do nothing." That confession opens doors that talent and ambition never could. Proverbs 22:4 promises, "Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth, honor, and life." Notice, it is humility, not hustle, that produces true prosperity and peace, beloved. Humility is not weakness. It is strength under control. Jesus himself, though he was the Son of God, chose the posture of a servant. Philippians 2:5-8 reminds us that he humbled himself, even to the point of death on a cross, and because of that humility, God exalted him to the highest place. If the King of Kings chose humility, how much more must we? Do not strive to make your name great. Let your obedience make God's name great through you. When you humble yourself, God becomes your promoter. He places your name where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. His timing is perfect, his favor unstoppable, and his recognition eternal. Beloved, humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. It's remembering that every blessing, every talent, every opportunity is on loan from heaven. It's serving others with joy, forgiving quickly, and refusing to compete for attention. Micah 6:8 declares, "What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." When humility rules your heart, God will trust you with more. More influence, more favor, more assignment. Your humility becomes your protection. It keeps pride from stealing your blessing. Every time you choose humility over self-praise, you draw closer to the heart of God. So, beloved, kneel low and watch how high he lifts you. Speak less about what you've done and more about what God is doing. The lower you bow, the greater his glory shines. Stay humble, and heaven will handle your promotion. Chapter 4. Living for God's glory alone. Beloved child of God, everything we are, everything we have, and everything we accomplish must point back to one truth. All glory belongs to God. When your heart's desire is to please him above all else, your life becomes a reflection of his greatness. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God." Living for God's glory means surrendering your desire for recognition. It means saying, "Lord, let my life shine, not so they see me, but so they see you." True fulfillment does not come from applause, followers, or fame. It comes from knowing you have pleased your Father in heaven. The world celebrates those who promote themselves, but heaven crowns those who promote Christ. Beloved, remember how Jesus lived. He healed multitudes, raised the dead, and performed miracles. Yet he often said, "See that you tell no one." His mission was not to be admired. It was to do the will of the Father. That is what it means to live for God's glory alone. John 3:30 declares, "He must increase, but I must decrease." The more you fade from view, the clearer his light shines through you. Living for his glory also means handling blessings with humility. When favor comes, give thanks, not pride. When success arrives, bend lower in worship. Psalm 115 verse 1 says, "Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name, give glory because of your love and faithfulness." Beloved, your life is God's canvas. Let him paint his beauty through your obedience, your generosity, and your love. Refuse to boast about what he has done. Let your peace, kindness, and integrity testify louder than words. When you live for his glory alone, you will never lose your joy, because your worth is no longer tied to people's praise, but to God's presence. So today, whisper this prayer: "Lord, let everything in me reflect you. Let every success point to you. I live to glorify you alone." Beloved child of God, humility is not just a posture. It is a pathway to divine favor. When you choose to walk humbly, serve quietly, and live for God's glory alone, heaven opens over your life. Proverbs 29:23 says, "A man's pride will bring him low, but the humble in spirit will obtain honor." True honor doesn't come from men, it comes from God Himself. The humble heart attracts what pride repels. It draws peace, wisdom, and blessing. While others chase recognition, the humble rest in God's approval. And that is the highest reward of all. Matthew 23:12 reminds us, "Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." When you bow low, God lifts you higher than any platform ever could. Beloved, your quiet obedience, your hidden faithfulness, your unseen prayers, they all speak loudly in heaven. God sees every act done in secret, and in due time, He will reward you openly. Do not seek to be noticed. Seek to be faithful. Do not strive to be remembered. Strive to glorify God. So, walk humbly, speak gently, serve joyfully, and as you do, the fragrance of Christ will flow from your life, touching others in ways words never could. The humble heart is the one heaven trusts most. May your life forever echo this truth. Not to us, Lord, but to your name be the glory.